Welcome back, guys. This is LemonFrost Games, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial in Blender. Got a request to recreate this low poly comp that I made a while back, so we will be doing that today. First things first, we will want to start with a cube. So you can press Shift A and go to cube. Let me just turn on the display here. So Shift A. So I'll tell you everything. Shift A, and then we will divide this. Tab to go into edit mode, and W, and then subdivide. Nope, subdivide smooth. Something's wrong. Oh, we have another cube in there, so that's the problem there. So we will go ahead and box select by pressing B, and then clicking and dragging on this edge here, bringing it out. Get the shape of the face. I think that's pretty good right there. And then what we need to do is add a mirror modifier. So we will press Z and then B for box select. We'll select these vertices, X to delete, and delete vertices. Now over in modifiers, we're going to add a mirror modifier. And now you can see that it's projected onto the other side of the X-axis. And we're going to select this vertex here, bring it in, just, slowly bring in these vertices. We get a shape that we like. I think that's pretty good. Something in that ballpark. So we have the head pretty much the same, although it's far too big right now, so we can go ahead and scale that down. So we would probably want to turn on clipping. Well, no. We'll just go into object mode and press scale, and then we can do 0.2. Looks pretty close. And then just scale it down a little more. So as you can see, face a little bit different. We can bring this down. And the face is more narrow in our original model here. So now we're going to want to go ahead and pull out the basic shape of the body. So we go to face select by clicking here. Grab this piece here, which will be the neck. E to extrude. And we can rotate this a little bit with R. And use this here to move it forward. And then rotate again. Use the X-axis here. And that looks pretty good. What we will want to do is to select these vertices and bring them in like so to give more refined shape for the neck. And it's looking pretty good. And really you can take some liberties with this. It's not down to a complete science. So now that first part of the neck, let's make the next part by clicking here, face select and extruding with E. Just bring that out like so. And click on this and press S to scale, just so we're scaling in the Y axis. That looks pretty good. So now we have a head and a neck. And now we want to do the body. So what we'll do is go ahead and bring it out. So we're going to press E to extrude. Bring something like that down. Actually, we'll press E to extrude and then just click this to go straight down. So we can modify it ourselves. Somewhere to about right there. And we will click on this here and bring that up to start the shape of the hips. Press Control and R to do a edge split here, edge loop. I do one here. Lock it in by clicking. And we'll do one here. And we can just modify the shape of the body as you see fit. Bring out the chest. And just work with these vertices until we have something that we can ultimately use. So it looks pretty decent for the start of the body. And then press Control S to save. It's important to save early and to save often. Don't want to lose your work. So next we will want to go ahead and bring out the arms. So we're going to select that with face select, press E to bring that out. And we're going to scale this with S and rotate a little bit. Get this downward motion. It's more of an A pose here, which isn't always ideal for animation, but that's okay. So we'll go ahead, do that, get this first segment, and then we'll press E again, bring it out, and rotate. That'll be our forearm here. Select it again, and we'll do this piece, and then that piece, and then one last piece that will lead to the wrist. So now we have those items. We're going to want to scale them. So we'll start with this one. Press Alt and click, and now we have the edge loop selected, and we can scale. And this one we're going to keep out a little bit. This one in, and we will, I don't want to select, so we'll just do a C to brush select here, and something like that. The arms are a little bit long, so you can bring them in. And this is probably a little too dramatic here. Let's bring that down. Okay, so that's the arms and the upper torso. Now you may notice that they look a little bit messed up. They're going backwards, but we can fix that. So we'll select most of the arm here, and we'll bring it forward, and then we'll select this part and bring it forward, and we'll continue the process until the arm is in a natural position. Like so. And one thing you may notice about the original model here is it appears to have more faces than just 4. So to add some extra detail, you can add a loop cut in if you would like to. And bring it out. In this case, we're going to have to bring this one out this way. And it gives a little bit more form to our model here. Next, we'll go ahead and work on the legs, which we will extrude out from the torso. So have something strange going on in this model, but we'll try something else. We'll just do, well, we want to remove clipping if you already had that selected. This way it can separate. And we'll just start extruding outwards to get the basic shapes. Like so. And once again, like the arms, there are more faces on this leg here. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I probably did was I probably used a cylinder here with 6 vertices and modeled the leg from that and attached it. But all we're doing is probably cleaner since it's all attached initially. So what we can do is we can put in a loop cut with Control R, and we can select those vertices, if I can select them, and bring them out for more detail and shape for the model. You do the same in the back. And it gives us a similar 6-sided figure. Although I think I will bring out the legs a little more. So as you can see, the new model has more going on the torso. We don't like that. We can select a couple faces, press X, and dissolve edges. Nope, that's not what we wanted to do. We'll do an edge select and dissolve edges. There we go. Now it looks more simplistic by doing that. I like it better personally. But you are free to leave them in your model if you so wish. Gives it a more simplistic look. I think we'll bring out this part of the shoulder a little bit more to give it a better form. We basically have the workings of our character. The leg's a little bit messed up, so we'll put in a loop cut here just to give it more to work with. And we'll put in a loop cut, a couple loop cuts down by the knee, and a loop cut up here by the shoulder, a loop cut on both sides of the elbow, so it has the geometry for animation later, so it can bend the arm. Now we'll probably want to work on straightening the legs as they are slightly distorted. In some cases I like to make the knee bend naturally a little bit. Well, that's probably a little bit too dramatic there. Alright. We could even select that, move it in, and that, and move it in to give it some style. And move the knees out like so. Maybe that vertice as well. It looks pretty good. We're gonna want to move to the hands next. Move that down. So for the hands, looks like it's a pretty basic shape. So we'll try to recreate that here. Extrude. Get that first piece. Bring that in a little bit. And then we'll extrude a second time and rotate the second part of the hand. And once again, we're going to dissolve these edges to make it a less cluttered model. It's basic shape of the hands there. Although we will want to bring this out. It looks pretty good. Leave some of the parts in. We're missing the depth to the hand, which we can fix by box selecting this and bringing it out. Using that there. And bringing that out. And you're getting some weird artifacts or whatever you might call this here. Go ahead and delete that. And recreate it. And shift click. Press F. Shift click. Shift click. And then press F to fill. We'll do the same for this other side. Delete. Shift click. And F. Shift click. Shift click. Shift click. And fill. Do the same for this here. And now we have the hand, or the basic shape of it. But what we want is the thumb. And this model is sort of incorporated on the side there. We can do the same with ours. We can bring it off of this. Maybe some rotation and scaling. And we'll do a similar approach since we don't need that amount of geometry for this particular thumb with this simple model. Fill things in. And that looks pretty good. It's a little bit skinny in some parts. Widen this piece here. Maybe rotate the thumb a bit. It's not perfect, but it'll have to do for now. Some strange scaling here, but a little stylized, but you get the idea. We'll rotate the arm since it's, or the hand, since it's kind of modified. Probably want to bring this out. Now we can move on to the feet. scale in. And then extrude. And then face select. And extrude out. This won't necessarily be a 1-for-1, but we're getting a basic shape. Get it down. Bring this up. The whole thing, actually. And that gives you a basic shape for the foot. Might want some more geometry around the sides. We do edge loop with Control R. And I could bring some of those features out by shift clicking and dragging. And we might want to make the feet a little wider. Somewhere in that ballpark. And that's pretty much the basic shape of our low poly human. But we might want to add some props, such as this police hat, the badge, the belt, and even for this model, I added some clothing on top of the base mesh. So that's something we could try in the next video of this tutorial. Later on, we can modify this shape to apply to different sizes of characters, and we can even rig this model up for animation or for use in games as well. I can show you how to put it in the Unreal Engine with the appropriate materials and textures. But for now, one last thing I'd like to do is bring the origin point to the center. So what we'll do is we'll move the location to 0. It's perfectly centered, but the origin point needs to go in the middle. So bring it out a little vertex here by shift clicking it. Shift D rather, to duplicate and put on the ground somewhere. Shift A, Shift S, cursor to selected. Now go back to object mode by pressing tab, move the origin to the 3D cursor, and now it's been centered. We can press 0, 0, 0, and we'll zero it out to the origin, and our character is now there. It appears to have some strange, I don't know what you would call that, the way it's artifacting, or whatever you would call it. But how we can fix that by going over here to this panel and pressing Auto Smooth, and that has fixed that strange issue. So now it looks better. So I've created this simple low poly human that by no means is finished, but it's a good starting point in creating your own characters that will be used for games or animations. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.